إن أعجبك الفيديو لا تنسى الإعجاب والاشتراك في القناة.
That was the most significant defeat that the Zionist movement had ever experienced from the day it was born, when Crimea returned to Russia. And when Crimea returned to Russia, if you would remember, I said it's time for Imran Hussein to celebrate, because I was looking at the subject from its totality. And so what we are now about to witness is a Russia who commands power in the Crimea, in the Black Sea, because of control over Crimea. So when the war begins, what's going to happen? Remember, the first of them passed long, long ago. And most of them have already passed Gog and Magog. So now they are weak in the north, and they're strong in the south. The power base is in the south now, in and around the Holy Land. So when the war takes place, what we'll see is a repeat of history. History will repeat itself one more time, that they are going to be checkmated by Russia in the north. In consequence of being checkmated by Russia in the north, that is why the conquest of Constantinople will become possible. When the conquest of Constantinople takes place, the backbone of NATO will be broken. But I don't think the conquest of Constantinople is possible without civil war in Turkey. And they just laid the foundations for that civil war with their bogus coup d'etat. That was, I think, 2 months ago or a month and a half ago. A bogus coup d'etat that even a schoolboy could see is already planned in advance. It failed. Okay? Even a schoolboy could see that. You think the Russians can't see that? Even a schoolboy could see. You think the Russians can't see that? That it was planned to fail. It was planned so that the Turkish president to be able to wipe out all the opposition that he had. Opposition, for example, to waging war on Syria. Many in the Turkish armed forces were opposed to Turkey waging war on Syria. Okay? Now they've been wiped out. They no longer do. It's only a matter of time now before Turkey will attack Syria. Once Turkey attacks Syria, Russia is going to respond with full force. Oh yes. And when will Turkey attack Syria? I don't know. Don't ask me. Don't send me any emails. I don't know. I don't know. But it looks as though it's going to be soon. It looks as though it's going to be soon. When that attack on Syria takes place by the Turkish armed forces, which I've been anticipating for 2 or 3 years now, and then Russia responds with full force on Turkey, we are laying the foundations for the conquest of Constantinople. The word of Nabi Muhammad sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam must come true. Must come true. Once the conquest of Constantinople takes place, then we know what's going to happen after that, the khuruj of Dajjal. Okay, if the war breaks out, the war takes place, and on the one hand side you have Russia, and on the other side you have Turkey. Who should we support as Muslims? Are you aware that Turkey is a member state of NATO? Are you aware? Are you aware that Allah has prohibited that in the Quran? Prohibited that in the Quran? Yet? Oh, you don't know? Oh, let me tell you that. Allah speaks in the Quran about two kinds of Christians. He says about one of the Christians that they're going to become the closest in love and affection for you Muslims. And he gives us ample means by which we can identify them as the Orthodox Christians. But then he speaks about another kind of Christian in the Quran. And he says, لا بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا لا تتخذوا اليهود والنصارى أولياء بعضهم أولياء بعض. Do not take such Jews and do not take such Christians as your friends and allies, who themselves are friends and allies of each other. بعضهم أولياء بعض. And if any of you turn to them with friendship and alliance, as Turkey has done, not the Turkish people, Turkish government, you now belong to them, you've left us. You now belong to them, you've left us. So who should you support? Turkey has joined NATO. Turkey is a part of NATO. NATO is the military arm of a Jewish-Christian alliance in Europe. European society, Western civilization. The Quran is speaking about that, prohibiting you. So we cannot support Turkey, which no longer is a part of us. Let's join them. Okay? Whereas Russia is standing up to the oppressor, resisting the oppressor. And NATO is the oppressor. In a war between the oppressor and the one who is resisting the oppressor, if a Muslim stands aside and says, I am not involved in this, what kind of Islam is that? You're supposed to support the victims of oppression. You're supposed to support those who are standing up to the oppressor, because Allah gave to this ummah a mission. Amar bil ma'ruf wa nahi anil munkar. When it is something that is right and it's just, stand up for it. And when it is unjust and false, stand up against it. Don't eat biryani and go home and sleep. So you have to support Russia, because Russia is standing up to the oppressor. Any more questions? The malhama is most likely going to start with a Turkish attack on Syria. I said that. But whenever I give an opinion, you know the rule. The rule is don't accept my opinion unless you're convinced that I am correct, because I can make mistakes, okay? I don't trust the Turkish leadership at all, and I don't think the Russians trust the Turkish leadership as well. So I am expecting that the war will commence with a Turkish attack on Syria, but I can be wrong. The war will be fought in that terrain, north of Damascus, between Syria and Turkey. That's where the war will be fought. But the war will also be fought in the area of the Black Sea. Okay? And it will be a war between Russia and Turkey. But because Turkey is a member of NATO, it will be Russia versus NATO. China is not going to be standing aside of that war, so Russia will be supported by China, and Iran will be supporting Russia and China, I believe, because the military in Iran is not controlled by the president. The military is controlled by the...
إن أعجبك الفيديو لا تنسى الإعجاب والاشتراك في القناة.